Hello, I thought I'd share some ideas about how I teach the basic side piercing kick to beginners. I'm going to leave out some details like the attacking tool and so on, but just some of the underlying concepts I do to progress them into the technique. So usually I would just have them start off in parallel stance, hands up, lifting the knee up and then pushing it to the side at a 45-degree angle. The important thing here is to lift the knee as high as possible, go over some object here and down. Sometimes I would actually sit right there and have the student move their leg over me because they are quite scared of accidentally touch me. In any case, so I would put some object there for them to do. So just lifting up the knee and pushing it to the side at a 45-degree angle like this. From here on, I would progress with rotating the standing foot, advising them to turn on the ball of the foot as they do it. So lift up, rotate, lift up, down. So every time they press with the kick, the heel goes back, and as they rotate, the heel lifts up again. Basically this is a pressing kick, the side pressing kick, which you may find in some of the higher patterns. After they feel comfortable with lifting the knee, pressing it down, bringing the knee up and back, and adding the rotation, I would have them step back into an L stance and do the same movement. So come up to the side and back, up to the side and back. From here we would progress it to make it a little bit more practical. I would have them pair off, train with a partner, and one person would attack and the student would move off the line with a guard and then attack the attacker's knee from the side. So person comes with an attack from the front, it can be a kick or a punch, it doesn't matter. I'm using a general wing block for this. So they just step at a 45-degree angle in a walking stance and then bring the knee up and over for that pressing kick. Doing it low, it's better because it focuses on the actual movement of the joints, the hips, the knees and so on, without the student having to overexert themselves because of flexibility problems. However, slowly we will increase the flexibility, still doing from the L stance. We might move into a middle section height, mid height, doing the kick there, so bringing up, over and back. I would also have them do the same thing but just kicking backwards from a stationary position. So basic L stance, bring the knee up and go to the horizontal and then kick back. So up, horizontal and kick back. But I won't stay with this exercise very long. Instead, I want it to be a dynamic, fluid movement, and I try to acquire this crescent shape when they bring their knee up and kick. So from the out stance, I would have them bring the knee up in an arc and then thrust back like that. After they've done this in a stationary position, kicking backwards, we would do it kicking forward. So they bring the knee up, rotate on the foot and back. So the idea is to help them to mobilize the hip muscles as much as possible. Focus on lifting the knee, lifting the thigh, but also have an emphasis on fluidity. The technique should not be staccato. How I learned the technique many years ago, we had these very fixed phases, lifting up in this position, then corkscrewing out and back. But I prefer this more fluid way of doing it than the old school way. It's a slight compromise between excessive rotation and narrowing the vectors too much for speed, so you get a nice sweet spot in between, focusing on fluidity in technique. That's it.